38 pounds in the black corner. From St. Louis,
Here comes Mr. Pro.
Andre the Giant.
Gonna get his legs in on the bruiser. Hulk Hogan.
Number one, the greatest WWE champion of all time, and in many ways, the man who made the title what it is today, Bruno Sammartino.
his opponent weighing 236 pounds in the white corner. From Van Nuys, California.
Welcome in to another edition of Retro Wrestling Rewind. As always, I am one half of the greatest uncrowned podcast tag team champions of the world. One day I think we're going to have a tournament. We are going to win those top podcast tag team championship belts back from...
About fucking time we won it.
I mean,
Shit.
we need to unify them. I'm not sure how that happens, but we're going to unify it. As always, I'm David Fine, former professional wrestling ring announcer for 21 glorious years. I had an internship with WCW, and I fucked that up. And I met Dusty Rhodes there. So it's a funny story. We'll have to go into it later on. But
Is it because you're Mexican?
no,
Because if you were Mexican, you could have sued them and won a bunch of money.
I should have. But as always, I am alongside my tag team partner, the true Long Island IZ, the hell with Zack Ryder, Alex G. Yeah, I mean, I did have an internship back in 1997 with WCW, and the first time I ever met Dusty Rhodes, I was in the men's bathroom. Don't go
Was
there.
he taking a shit?
No, I was doing a number one. I was taking a leak in the old urinals. Was there. He moseyed on up and said, "How you doing, brother?" And we just had a 10-minute conversation. It was quite pleasant. It was kind of odd, but it was it was.
Were you aiming it for him?
I was. I
would've.
I did. It didn't give me a job there, but yes, I did. But that's for
It was Pat Patterson.
Hey, that's for another day, another podcast, man. So, Clash of the Champions 23. It came from the Norfolk Scope, Norfolk, Virginia, June the 18th of 1993. I mean, on the looking in, what were your thoughts on this? I mean, it was not an over, it wasn't the best Clash, wasn't the worst Clash.
It's interesting. I mean, just like with WCW in general, like when you watch like their TV shows, like they're at least interesting. Due to the fact that they're not good, but they're at least they're interesting. Like if you were like watch old Worldwides and stuff like that, like there's a lot of like freak show matches on it. You might see like, hey, it's La Parka taking on Mikey Whipwreck, and it's like, what is this nonsense? And those could be fun. Like much like the Ron Simmons versus Dick Slater. That's the first match on this card. I think we are, if I'm not mistaken, very early on in the Bischoff era. And I'm always a big fan of the pre-Hogan Bischoff era in WCW. I thought they were on their way to do some really cool stuff. And unfortunately, they had to take like 3 steps back once they got Hogan, and they eventually got together by the middle of '96. But I really did enjoy the pre-Hogan Bischoff era WCW. Again, at this point in my life, I'm all in on WCW, even though I'm from New York. Although I kept on following WWF, but WCW was my go-to at this time. So I was all in on WCW.
Okay, so this first match, Ron Simmons, Dick Slater, was supposed to be Ron Simmons, Paul Orndorff for the TV title. But somehow Paul Orndorff, I guess, got injured.
I'm assuming it's injured.
Yeah.
He has that bad arm, and his arm is all fucked up, and it's all atrophied and small now.
Yeah.
So I can see that, being an injury, and Dirty Dick is back in, so it's nice to see Dirty Dick Slater, with a job here. So.
Yeah, I mean, kind of looking at these two wrestlers. I mean, I was a big Dick Slater fan back in his earlier career, like in the mid '80s. I mean,
Can we just clear the air here? Dick Slater is a bootleg Terry Funk.
Why do you say that?
He talks like Terry. He works like Terry, but he's not Terry.
No.
Like, watch a Dick Slater interview and tell me that's not Terry Funk. Like, he's literally imitating Terry Funk.
Yeah, I mean,
he beat up Sting one time in the toilet and, gave him a whirly, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Because, he was fucking Dark Journey and stuff.
And speaking, you know,
Hey, do you know what Dark Journey does nowadays?
no,
She does colonics.
huh?
You know what a colonic is?
No.
It's like an enema when they put the hose up your butt
Oh yeah,
and they wash it out with like fruits and berries and shit.
literally.
So, I guess she calls it Darkest Journey's Dark Journey?
Huh?
I don't know.
I will not have to look that up.
Well, I want me and you going to go down there and we're going to get, we're going to do colonics at the same time with Dark Journey.
Hey, I mean that sounds like a bonus show right there. But yeah, Ron Simmons, I mean, I was never a fan of his.
His push was fucking huge.
You think it
They
was?
didn't do anything with it because it's WCW booking.
Yeah.
But when they did like the All American Ron Simmons and they're getting interviews with Bobby Bowden from Florida State, like his push was huge. And then they have him lose the Luger at Halloween Havoc 91. Eventually he does win the title from Vader, but it's a very short run. Then he's floundering for a while, turns heel, and then leaves.
I mean, I'm more of a Ron Simmons in the Doom tag team.
Yeah, I can see that. You're not a Farouk guy?
No, and I'm not a.
You like Gladiator Farouk?
No, and I'm not
with Sonny as the manager?
No, I like Sonny back in the day. Not so much now.
You've seen her recent film escapades?
No, I've seen her recent mugshots, and oof, boy.
I watched some of that film. Actually, I watched the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm not a big his current like damn, with his. We just said that's just I don't know.
You didn't like APA though?
No, and I'm not.
Really?
I
thought it was interesting. I thought it was cool when they were still the Acolytes and they won the tag team belts kind of out of nowhere. I thought that was kind of neat. By the time they became the APA, yeah, to me it worked because that's how they really are, and they're really great friends and stuff like that. So it kind of worked on that level. But again, they were big card guys.
And I'm not a John Bradshaw Layfield fan.
I don't think anyone is.
No. And who is that? Mario Rinaldi.
Mauro Rinaldi?
Yeah, that guy. Did he get harassed by John Bradshaw?
He did. Joey Styles punched him in the face and knocked him out.
Punched John Bradshaw Layfield?
Yeah.
Well, he probably deserved it, but I mean.
And we did to our good friend the Blue Meanie too, which just fucked up.
What did he do?
You don't remember that
I don't.
in the ECW WWF pay-per-view? Where freaking Bradshaw just walked over and just fucking punched him in the face in the middle of this like fucking pull apart, like for real. And fucking Meanie was all bloody and shit. And Meanie's like one of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah, we met him at WrestleCon. Super nice dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah.
So overall, JBL is a piece of shit. He's done stuff like he would duct tape Brian Christopher's arms and his legs together, and then they would put markers and shit up his butt.
Maybe he's in it.
In front of the king and shit.
Maybe he's into colonics. I mean, I don't know.
It could be. He should be hanging out with Dark Journey.
Yeah, whenever I hear that damn music, I just want to just punch myself in the face. But the old, bell ringing, I was like, oh my God. And then the cow, I was like, Murr. But, jeez.
He's horrible on commentator. I hated the fact that he was WWE champion. I hated the whole gimmick, just because he had a couple of shots on like Fox Business News or something.
Yeah.
And he gets this run.
Yeah. I mean, coming back to commentating, kind of back to Double or Nothing. We're kind of wondering, I don't know why I was thinking about this, but with this commentating, I mean, I've heard the past week since we last spoke and since Double or Nothing that people have been giving high praises to Jim Ross on his commentary. I mean, I think we talked about this last week. I just thought it was terrible. I mean,
I think, I like Jim Ross. I think this is the best Jim Ross that we've seen in a while, but he's still like 2 steps behind.
Yeah. I mean, you're not a big Jim Ross fan of like the NWA days. I mean, back in that.
I mean, Mid-South, but everyone was good at Mid-South, so I don't think that really counts. I mean, he got very tiresome in WCW, like in the early 90s, where like he would randomly talk about people's collegiate careers to the point where he's talking about Brian Clark's collegiate career, but Brian Clark was the Night Stalker. And he's like, oh, the Night Stalker, he played at Memphis State. And I was like, he's the fucking Night Stalker. What are you talking about? Yeah. Like that got fucking old real fast. He was able to get refined a little bit better in the WWE, became a better, he got rid of a lot of the college shit, and then he became even better. He was already a good storyteller. Yeah. He became an even better one in the WWF. The second one, not the first one. The first one was pretty rough too.
Yeah, but overall, this match. Of course, Ron Simmons wins.
I think Shivani is better.
Yeah, Shivani will always. I think I'm still saying that back in his heyday, Gordon Solie was the best.
Yeah, when he wasn't drunk.
Yes, but no one. No one hands down.
Not for nothing, Vince. Vince is underrated as an announcer,
and but
people hated fucking Vince, but
yeah.
He was all right.
But the one person that will always be my number one commentator, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
I'm still a Jesse guy.
God, he is annoying. He is just annoying. Maybe it's just his ugly face. I don't know. Maybe I just.
You think Jesse Ventura is an ugly man?
Yes. He needs to.
Really?
He needed to cut that ponytail that he had. He has a bald head and
still has it. What are you talking about? He still has that shit.
Oh, whatever. But okay, moving on. Second match.
Just because his hair looks like it's running away from his face doesn't mean that he's an ugly man.
Maybe I'm jealous that he has more hair than I do, but that's
a good point.
That's neither here nor there. Yeah. Second match of the card: Lord Steven Regal with Sir William defeating.
You're a good friend. You know that is, right?
Yes, Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Yeah. That's the one thing I need to talk to Bill about. His time as Sir William. It's like you had this illustrious career as a great wrestler in Memphis and all over the country, all over the world, and then you're doing it.
I have to be fairly certain that he was most likely on the booking committee at this time.
Probably.
He probably came up with that shit.
I'm sure he did. I don't know who was booking. Oh, yeah, do you think it was the beginning of Eric Bischoff?
Dusty.
Dusty.
Eric never booked.
Oh.
That's a misconception. He never booked. It was either Dusty, like as his bookers, it was like Dusty, Sullivan, or Flair, depending on the time frame. And I think you can probably count Kevin Nash, depending on when Eric leaves.
Yeah. And kind of get on a side note again about Kevin Sullivan. I was watching some old Georgia. Man, that guy back in like the early.
He was a babyface?
Yeah. When he was, I forgot who he was with, but.
Tony Atlas.
Yeah. That guy was super skinny. he was super, he was jacked, but he
was a white meat, like pretty boy babyface.
Yeah. Did you like the heel Kevin Sullivan or baby?
Well, of course. Kevin Sullivan in Florida is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's he's definitely good in Florida, but yeah, I'm gonna have to when I talk to Bill next time. Been trying to it's a funny story. Okay, so as you know, I've been communicating with Bill, trying to get him on the show, but he's as most older people, like my parents, who are terrible at like texting and doing that. Well, my mom's great, but my dad, anyway, he's not really good at that. So I've been communicating through his PR guy. But yeah, I definitely.
It's not Jamie, is it?
No, it's not. It's a guy named Rex. Anyway. But yeah, we're gonna also gonna be doing working on his his biography via audio. It's gonna be an autobiography. So we're gonna be working on that coming up in the next couple of months. But I
want you to ask him questions about his time being the booker at Mid-South. He was probably the best booker Mid-South had.
I will ask him. But speaking of great wrestlers, this is before his Cowboys and Angels stint. The great Marcus Alexander Bagwell. What were your thoughts on him?
From Sprayberry High School. Thanks, Jim Ross.
Yes, I know.
The fact that I know what Sprayberry High School is because of Jim Ross. Fucking hey. Did you go to Sprayberry High School?
No. I know some people that went to Sprayberry, but no, I did not.
Are they all looking like Marcus Alexander Bagwell?
Yes, they do. Exactly like him. No.
Like he's a good-looking dude. He became a pretty good wrestler. I liked him in the American Males. I thought he was pretty good.
How long did they run for that WCW Rookie of the Year gimmick? It's like
for a long time. He was there for a very long time.
He was like 5 years, like current WCW. No.
Like he was in Global too. I think people forget that he was in Global.
Wasn't he the handsome stranger?
He was. I once got a handsome stranger.
Whoa.
In the elevator, but that's a whole nother.
Oh, did that happen at WrestleCon?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, damn. You did seem kind of happy when you came down one day, but that's beside the point. But
my wife was with me. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. But what were your thoughts? Like Steven Regal at the time. This is 1993.
I love fucking Lord Steven Regal. He was one of my favorites. I loved his feud with Zbyszko, which was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, do you get him mixed up with the other Steve Regal?
No, Mr. Electricity, Steve Regal.
Yes.
No, Mr. Electricity didn't Mr. Electricity, Steve Regal, and Jimmy Garvin beat the Road Warriors clean for the AWA World Tag Team titles. I'm pretty sure
Yeah, I
he
think
did.
so. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Steve Regal. I mean, he's Steven Regal. I mean, he's doing some great stuff in NXT right now. It's just I mean,
Well respected and a good friend of Triple H.
yeah. I mean, if you're good friends with Triple H, you're always gonna have a job. But
Terry Taylor.
oh, the red fucking rooster. But that'll never.
He still has a job to this day.
Yes, he does. And
He works for the WWE currently,
yes, and
even though he's racist. And that's not alleged. We have court documents to prove it.
I mean, yeah.
Thanks, Stevie Ray.
God, Stevie Ray. Next match on the card, we had Barry Windham taking on Two Cold
He's a little
Scorpio.
chubby here. He's a little chubby here.
Okay. Speaking of, so Barry Windham, he's appearing on some card. I'm not sure where it is. I saw it on Facebook.
Barry Windham looks like Blackjack and Mulligan. It's insane.
Yeah, and but now they had a picture of him back whenever he was a skinny Barry Windham, and I'm like, yeah, he is not skinny anymore. He looked like he ate Blackjack Mulligan. So,
Blackjack was a big dude. He was almost 7 feet tall, according to PWI.
I mean, PWI does not lie.
No, they don't.
They do not. They have apartment wrestling. No, did they have apartment wrestling, or was that another?
I think it was in there.
Yeah, I still find it funny how I asked Bill Apter about the apartment wrestling. He was like, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I'm like, who the hell was? I mean, it was in the back.
But you were taking the pictures, Bill.
I mean, I mean, you could take pictures and not be interested in it. I'm just saying. Well, I mean,
He was too busy hanging out with Misty Blue.
Yeah, probably. I mean, who did you actually think watching this back in the day that Two Cold Scorpio was actually going to?
I thought he was going to be one of the biggest stars in wrestling, and he wasn't. Most likely because he was black and smoking crack.
Did you actually think he was going to beat Barry Windham?
No, but I thought he was going to be a huge star, though. I thought he'd be, he had the potential of being WCW World Champion. I thought at the time in '93. Yeah, this is pre-Hogan.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
you really think it's because of his skin color?
I think that's part of it, especially WCW. Again, they had a really sullied reputation when it came to that.
Yeah.
And the fact that Too Cold liked to smoke crack. So I think that combination is a deadly one if you want to become WCW or any kind of world champion, to be completely honest. But like, he was so innovative, it's ridiculous. He's doing the 450s, he's doing the tumbleweed. He has charisma. He's doing like that goofy dance, which is charming. I do like his theme song. You ever seen the rap video for his theme song?
Is it good?
Oh, yeah, play it at the end.
We will leave the show with Two Cold Scorpio's rap song. So.
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal.
Yep, I will guarantee it'll be up there, and it'll boost.
So picture this, picture like a 1993 '94 Two Cold Scorpio, right? He's riding in a limo and he stops at a park, and he goes and he sees a bunch of kids playing basketball. Then he slams dunk, and then he's like, "Hey, I'll give you kids a ride to school," which is weird. And he's like, "Nah, man, we're gonna go to the arcade. We're gonna skip school today." And then Two Cold gets mad. He's like, "You got to go to school." And he's like, "We're not gonna take my limousine. We're gonna step." And it's really weird. And then they go right into the rap video.
That is funny.
Who produced that? It wasn't Jimmy Hart because he wasn't even there yet. Who's in charge of Slam Jam? Who's the executive producer of Slam Jam?
Probably
I feel
Jimmy
like you
Hart.
were involved in Slam Jam.
Probably.
Rick Rude's song was fantastic on Slam Jam. Sting's not so much.
Oh, hey, is the music video? Is it called "Here Comes Too Cold"?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty, yeah, we're definitely gonna go out
Two
on.
can't stop you.
We're definitely gonna go out on that one, on this Clash of the Champions 23 edition of Retro Wrestling Rewind. The next match, Vader, Vicious, and Rude with Colonel Robert Parker and Handsome Harley Race taking on the natural Dustin Rhodes, Sting, and Davey Boy Smith. Your thoughts on this 6-man tag team match? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. We have the top heels and the top baby faces going out of here, which is nice to see. Sting had an awful 1993, followed by the even worse 1994, although he was the international heavyweight champion, but he lost the unification matches to Ric Flair right before Hogan came in. But his 93 wasn't that great either. Rude was destined to be on top of the card, but unfortunately he gets injured the next year. And they kind of teased a Rick Rude babyface turn that never happened. I saw footage of him like wearing out Vader with a chair, which would have been really, really interesting. I'd really like to see Rick Rude as a babyface. I thought that would have been really cool, especially for WCW to do that. Unfortunately, they did not. I thought Rude during this era is probably the best Rude we ever got. Like, he's so good here, like, it's ridiculous. Like, his matches with fucking Steamboat are off the fucking charts.
Yeah, man. Did Rude ever work babyface? Or was he always heel?
Man, early on. Memphis. He worked babyface in Memphis for like 2 weeks, and then they changed him up.
Because I know he was a heel in Florida, so
in Florida.
Whenever he was with
He
Percy.
was a jobber Mid-South for the most part. Definitely a heel in JCP. Obviously a heel in WWF. But can we talk about David Boy Smith's braids?
Oh my God, seriously? It's like
why do you get like in America, I know it's slightly different, but like oftentimes 11-year-old girls go to Jamaica and get their hair done like that and then come back, right?
Yeah.
Did David Boy Smith go to Jamaica on vacation and get his hair done like that for a specific reason? He looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way though, like because it fits him because it's fucking David Boy Smith. But it's like, I know at the time people had to be rolling their eyes on that shit. Like, come on, like what's with the braids? I hope Harry Smith gets the braids one day. That'd be glorious.
I mean, remember you watched? I know you watched Double or Nothing. Did you watch the buy-in? Correct.
Yeah.
With Brian Pillman Jr. Doesn't he look ridiculous with blonde hair?
Yeah, he should have kept his original hair color.
But I mean, I know you're a big mark for Brian Pillman Jr. So I mean,
I am, since he no-showed me in my meeting.
But you got your money back, so that's.
I did, and I went and spent it on Ted DiBiase. So there you go.
Hey, the $1 Million Man, he was there. I mean, the legends mostly show up. Not.
I'm almost like it's 50-50 if I get to go to the big event, but the big event's gonna have fucking Mil Mascaras at it.
Where is the big event gonna be?
It's gonna be in Queens.
Ah, that sounds like fun. Hopefully you'll be. When is it?
It is. I think it's in November. Because they do like one in November and one in March every year.
Well, that's cool.
Obviously, I didn't go to the March one because I was going to Mania. But.
Yeah. Hey, man. Sometimes you have to choose Mania over the big events. I mean,
yeah, I'm kind of interested. Like, I could have met Mil Mascaras before, but I had to make a decision if I was going to meet either Mil Mascaras or Terry Funk, and I chose Terry Funk.
Do you regret that meeting Terry Funk?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. He seems like
that's when he told me that Dory Funk was the greatest NWA World Champion of all time, and that Bob Backlund is legit shoot crazy.
He did. I mean, Bob Backlund does look crazy. I mean,
remember he was doing the fucking squats and the fucking weird exercises at WrestleCon?
Yeah, it was he. Yeah, he's definitely not all there. I mean, what were your thoughts on Dustin at this time? I mean, he was not.
Dustin was the natural. I've been saying this forever. Obviously he debuted in 1988. He's on WCW house shows in '89. He has his first matches with Ted DiBiase in '90, and he's basically full time here at this point since 1991. He was always really good. I think he got a bad rap early on for people who didn't like Dusty. I felt that he was pushed too hard. And was he pushed too hard? I don't know. Maybe. But he was fucking good.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was.
Like, he was a newer version, a 90s version of the 80s Barry Windham.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, Davey was good. I mean, Sting, he was Sting 1993. I mean.
I mean, Sting is Sting.
That is true. Sting is
Before
Sting.
he got lazy.
Yep, and started being the Crow, which is, I'm not a big Crow fan, but moving on to the main event, Ric Flair and Arn Anderson taking on Brian Pillman, Steve Austin, the Hollywood Blondes, in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NWA and WCW World Tag Team titles.
Now, I don't remember here. Is this Flair's first match back?
Yes. Yeah, because they said they hadn't seen Flair in a while, so this is his first match back. Yeah, it was.
Because obviously he's doing like the whole Flair for the gold thing because he can't wrestle because of his non-compete with WWF or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously, he actually leaves the WWF, January of '93. So, another 6 months here, and they do the whole segment on Flair for the gold with the blondes, and then the blondes do the whole Flair for the old bit. They dress up like Flair and Arn and shit, which is hilarious. But big fan of Steve Austin here. At this point, 1983, Steve Austin is my favorite wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
He was so good here as a heel, and he would have those great matches with fucking like Ricky Steamboat that were fucking off the charts. Go back and watch Steve Austin and Ricky Steamboat. They're fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a big fan of Steve Austin. I mean, it was. Do you like him here better here or when he went to the WWE?
I prefer him as Stunning Steve over Stone Cold. I know I'm very much in the minority there, but I think Stone Cold got played out. I'd say by 1999.
Yeah.
And once he started out what shit, it was all over for me. And then when they turned him heel, and then the whole fucking invasion nonsense, it was like, And then he's doing the comedy, which is fun, but not for me.
No.
Steve Austin was the first wrestler I got to see from start to finish. So I watched him in USWA fighting Chris Adams. They had this weird match where Steve Austin's wearing his full fucking college football fucking uniform with the helmet. And I think fucking Chris Adams wearing like karate stuff. It was really weird. But yeah, I watched it from start to finish.
And do you think he was, did you, back, when you saw from the beginning, did you think he was going to be did he have the look, I
think so. I'm surprised, I would have put the belt on him here in 93.
Yeah.
At this point, 94, he could have had it. I know there were talks with him being managed with Harley and being with Vader and stuff. Man, it's that Hogan thing. Once Hogan, it completely changed the dynamic of WCW, where Steve Austin would have been this generation's Ric Flair. Hogan coming in completely disrupts everything that could possibly happen at this point.
Yeah.
Because if Hogan doesn't come in, you're running with, you still have your Sting on top. Dustin's probably doesn't go. He's still there. Austin is still there. Pillman probably stays. And the hierarchy is different. But the fact that Hogan came in, it really changed it. Then you see your Hacksaws and your Big Boss Mans and all those motherfuckers come in.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this was a good match. I thought it was a good match. I mean, it was a clash. I mean, 2 out of 3 falls, which is fun. Yeah.
They win, Flair and Anderson win by disqualification. You got to keep the belts on these guys.
Yeah.
What are you going to do there? And I think Pillman doesn't even lose the belt. I think Austin loses the belts at Halloween Havoc. And we have Steven Regal as the substitute.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
They split them up, which they probably split them up too early too.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
They did it. Oh, they did a bad fucking. They did the chicken suit gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
So if Pillman beat Austin has to wear a chicken suit and shit. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gimmick matches. I mean, people like that, I guess. But it's just...
I would have loved to seen Steve Austin versus Jushin Liger at this time. Would have been fucking off the charts. The Muda match he had was a little disappointing, but it was still pretty good though.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, I thought overall, what would you give this Clash champion?
It's an average Clash. I mean, it's not completely fucking out of control here. Yeah. It's solid. The matches are fine. It's solid. It's a solid show overall. Again, we're a couple of months into the Bischoff era here, and the booking here is solid.
Yeah, but the other thing that's super solid that I want to kind of comment.
My penis.
Okay, other than that, if people want to, if they can't get enough of you, and they want to listen to you for hours,
they want to go
hours
12 rounds with the champ.
Yes, and hours and hours, and listen to you talk about vintage wrestling, video games, just video games. How can they find you on YouTube and on Twitter?
You want to go to Retro Wrestling Games Presents. He's typed that right in the search bar, and we'll be the first thing that pops up. So, we're doing a lot of cool stuff. We just had a brand new NWA 1984 project just released a couple days ago, so please check that out. And
on Twitter, how can they follow you?
You want to go to RW Games, at RW Games Presents on Twitter. I have about 5,700 followers, so join the party. What are you doing?
I mean, that's awesome. And of course, if you want to follow us here on Retro Wrestling Rewind, we are at the RW Rewind on Twitter. We are at the rwrewind.com that's our website. We have merchandise. We have past episodes. We have so much stuff on the website. But next week on the big program, episode 35, we're going to be going back in the Wayback Machine, Starrcade 84, the $1 Million Challenge. Your thoughts on that?
What's most curious is for me that I'm wondering about is how come Vince McMahon didn't make a play for either Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes? Like he's like those are the two biggest stars he didn't get during that time frame.
Yeah,
I often wonder what a 1984 WWF would look like with a Dusty Rhodes or Ric Flair or both.
I mean, it could have changed the business. I mean,
it would have put Crockett out of business for sure.
Yes, it definitely would. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great show. I mean, folks, fired up on the old network if you got that subscription, or you Google it and YouTube it, whatever you do, watch it before next week, and so you can follow along. I'm going to be doing the show from my vacation spot, so we'll be revealing where that is next week. But
the Blue Oyster,
you'll have to wait and find out. For the great Alex G, as always, I am David Fine. We'll see you back here next week where we look back and reminisce and reflect on Starrcade 1984, the $1 Million Challenge. We'll talk to you in the past.
Buckle up your seatbelt for a ride on Air Scorpio. Next stop, New Blood on the Block.
That's cold, man. Shoot the ball. Man, I thought I could make it, but my hands are cold. Man, you can't make it. You're gonna be late for school. Man, I can make it. Give me this ball. Everybody, here comes the cold Scorpio. Man, you can't make it. Man, that was too cold. That was too cold.
Ain't you kids supposed to be in school?
Nah, man, we going to the game room.
What do you mean to the arcade? You guys need to be in school trying to get an education. Tell you what, I'll take you guys to school.
Are we going to ride in limousine?
Nuh-uh.
We're going to walk?
Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to step.
Repertoire. No doubt about it, gonna be a superstar. Too cold. Scorpio. Too cold. He's loaded, but